Hey, I'm Ryan, and I'm making a vibrantly bloody game called Colorful Katana, primarily inspired by Samurai Champloo and Sekiro. It's genuinely crazy to think that it's already been a year and a half since the start of this devlog series. My daily progress always feels slow, but looking back at the very beginning is proof that iterative work pays off. Typically in these videos, I kind of just list off things I worked on and try to make everything look cool for the devlog, but in this video I wanted to be a little more open about the things I'm struggling with the game, not life struggles that'd be like a 12-hour long video. Recently, I've been struggling with the scope for the demo. I sort of feel like I'm endlessly chasing a carrot on a stick, where the more I work, the further the finish line moves. A Sisyphean task, if you will. A lot of that struggle is polish related, but there are a few major gameplay elements that I'm starting to have doubts about. I don't feel like they are working alongside the rest of the game, and basically I'm at a crossroads. Do I try and improve/fix these elements, or fully drop them instead? For instance, one of these major sticking points is the entirety of range combat. In theory, it's pretty cool. Parrying bullets is never not cool. The issue predominantly lies with Colorful Katana's camera angle. In a first or third person game, it's pretty easy to track the trajectory of a projectile. In a fully top-down game, this becomes even easier. If it's coming directly at the player, you block or dodge, that easy. Unfortunately, with the camera angle I've chosen for this project, the game is not fully top-down, so it gets pretty hard to tell where the projectile is in relation to the player. This results in some pretty frustrating gameplay when you think the player is in line with the bullet to parry, but it's actually just the camera angle tricking you. It's still kind of difficult for me, and I've put hundreds of hours into testing the game, so I know it's a genuine issue. It sort of forces the player to stand still, wait for the enemy to fire, remain still, and wait for the bullet to arrive in order to parry. It's really just not very fun. At first, to remedy this, I was initially changing the speed of the projectiles, but it really feels like I'm duct taping a structure that should instead just be demolished. I like the idea of anticipating enemy attacks and waiting for an opening, but frankly, it makes for boring gameplay, in this case. So yeah, that's the problem I'm facing. So where do we go from here? Well, I can try and redo the whole system somehow. I've run through a few scenarios in my head, but I'm struggling to think of any reasonable way to do this with the current camera angle. I could make the bullet immediately hit the player when fired, but that feels unfair in large group encounters. I could make the projectile track the player, allowing for an easier parry, but again, it just feels like duct tape. So honestly, I'm leaning towards removing this mechanic altogether, and focusing almost exclusively on melee combat, with maybe the occasional ranged attack, but within a different mechanic, such as grenades. I'm down to hear your feedback and ideas though. So yeah, that's one thing I've been struggling with. In a bit of a different vein, my initial plan with this game was to add a sidekick that follows you around for the purpose of dialogue and story. I originally was pretty confident I could make a simple, competent AI that will follow the player throughout the story, but currently thinking about the scope of that is sorta freaking me out. What will they do in combat? What happens when they get stuck on an object? What happens when they're off screen? Should they teleport closer to the player, or should you be able to leave them in the dust? The polished portion of this mechanic is one that I'm really not looking forward to. This, however, feels like a very important part of the game in my mind, so I want to at least try my best to implement it. If it ends up feeling cheap, I can always remove it and rework the story. That's what I keep telling myself at least. This, along with other polish concerns, has been on my mind quite a bit recently. But yeah, those are the two major things. I just need to get that game dev ran out, so thanks for listening. Things are going really well otherwise, but per usual, I still have plenty to do. I'm currently working on the opening intro sequence to the demo, which I should be ready to show off in a little bit, in the next devlog. I got some really nice comments and support on the last video, and because of you guys, I'm feeling as motivated as ever. But yeah, I'm not going to drag out this outro. Make sure to wishlist Colorful Katana on Steam and give this video a like. Plus, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thanks for watching. See ya!